What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Question Everything podcast. You have your host, Amerik Masters, with my co-host, Hunter. Welcome back, Hunter. How you doing, man?
Doing good. I'm glad to be back.
Right on. Yeah, it's good to have you back, dude. So,
Yep.
what we're gonna do is we're gonna just jump into a few things real quick, and then just keep everyone up to date with the Bay Area sports. Are you ready to go, man?
Ready as always.
All right, here we go. So the first thing up, San Jose Sharks have signed Will Smith. Will Smith is the 2023 first round pick, fourth pick overall from last year's NHL draft. He signed an entry level contract with the Sharks. So what this means is by Will Smith signing the ELC, he can no longer be eligible to return to college. In this case, Boston College. Now, during his freshman season at Boston College, he totaled 71 points, which equated to 25 goals, 46 assists, and 41 games. So I'm definitely looking forward to this. This is big news for all Sharks fans. Will Smith's on board. In a few weeks, we're going to sign Magnus Celebrini, and we're going to get this young line going for the future. So this is big news. Next up, we are going to cover the San Jose Sharks head coaching process. So right now, the Sharks are beginning the second round of their head coaching interviews. So they recently just interviewed the Sharks assistant, Ryan Warsofsky, if I'm messing it up. He had two interviews already, which is a really good sign. The former Red Wings head coach, Jeff Lashiel, had his second interview, or will have his second interview. Marcus Strom, the former Shark player, had one interview, and it's unclear if he had his second interview and if it's going to be scheduled at all. And right now, the news today is Tampa Bay Lightning's assistant coach, Jeff Halpern, is considered for the job as well. So this is big news, Hunter. What do you think, man?
Well, I'm looking forward to this young lineup and to see what they can do. But as far as the coaches go, I might go with the Red Wings coach, Jeff Basshill,
Uh-huh.
Lashill. Uh, I haven't really heard too much about him, but I think out of all of them so far, he looks the most promising. I haven't really heard about Ryan or even Marco.
Okay.
So, but because of the Detroit Red Wings background,
Okay.
I might. Well, we'll see. But to me, he would be the one I would go with.
Okay, cool. All right, moving on. Giants. Now, the Giants are doing really good. They've been winning a lot lately. So, as you can see in the National League, they're in fifth place in the National League, which is awesome. Now, if we break it down to the NL West, they are in second place with a record of 28 wins, 27 losses. But if you look in their last 10, they are 8-2. So, what's your thoughts on this, man?
Well, I mean, I'll be honest. The Giants have really surprised me this season because I haven't really had that high hopes considering the talent they have. I mean, it's not the best,
Mm-hmm.
but because compared to like the Dodgers, who have like they're practically stacked, especially with Shohei,
Yeah.
I'm glad that they're have show signs of improvement, and because they're a young team, that makes it even more exciting.
Yeah, man. It kind of sucks that the rookie Lee got injured with his shoulder when he ran into that wall, and he's out for the season. I was really looking forward to seeing him progress through the season, but a lot of players have stepped up, like Lamont Wade. We also got a lot of production out of Chapman,
Hmm.
and the group is coming together, man, right at the right time. Now, there are potential rumors where the Giants could pick up somebody like a big slugger. That'll be great. Right now, we are really close to the Dodgers, so we gotta stay on their heels. We gotta win the NL West. So
Yeah, but like I said, at least it's very promising so far. Whether we pick up a big bat or not, we'll see. Because so far this crew has been doing really good. So,
right on. All right.
mhm.
So next up, the Oakland Ballers. So right now, the Oakland Ballers record is 2-4. They have lost the last four. So I believe how the Pioneer League works is it's split into two seasons, I believe, where they play Since there's not that many teams, they play each other, and then the season there's a break, I believe, and then it picks back up. It's a little different, but we'll definitely bring it to you as the season goes along. Right now, the next one we're going to talk about is the Valkyries and WNBA. So, one thing, Hunter, like I've been looking at is the difference between the WNBA and the NBA. Now, I understand that the NBA has been established for years, but it's not like the WNBA just came out of nowhere in the last 2 or 3 years. They've been around for 28 years, and if you notice on here, on the far right, we have the top 17 players in the WNBA and their annual salaries. So Jackie Young makes the most, so 252,000 per year. And then Aja Wilson from the Aces makes 200K. But the thing that really makes my mind like blown, I guess, is the breakdown of the draft pick. So if you're in the first round and pick 1 through 4, you're guaranteed to make 338,000. But that's not per year. That's divided into 4 years. So if you look at it, if you're picked like Caitlin Clark, everyone that's in the top 4, they're gonna make an average of 84,000 a year. Picks 5 through 8 make 81,000, and the list goes on. If you're picked in the 3rd round, picks 25 to 36, you're making an average of 69,000 a year. So to me, that's a little bit low, man. Like I understand again that this league is, starting to get recognition, which is dope. But I feel like we're far behind, and this should be like at least double, because they're professional athletes. You know what I mean? What do you think, man?
No, I hear you. Especially depending on what state they play for. Like like imagine with California, that's not going to amount to much.
Right.
Or New York, or some of the places that really like high taxes.
Right.
They're practically making minimum wage if you think about it. So yeah, I really hope things they start treating the players a little bit better,
Right.
and hopefully they'll like take it up. And I'm hoping the traction now with the WNBA is getting, it only keeps getting better for them. Hopefully.
Yeah, and this brings us to the next slide here. So, it makes me think, like, how will the Valkyrie players, once they start, survive financially in the Bay Area? 69,000, is good money, but is it enough to survive? You know what I mean? With just the cost of living, with rent averaging about like 4,000 for like a 2 to 3 bedroom. If you're getting to 4 to 5 bedrooms, you're looking at close to 5,000 a month. It's wild, man. So with that, we kind of want to have our viewers look into this. So we shared with you the WNBA and the top players. Now this is the top players in the NBA. So currently for the 2024 season, Curry's going to be making almost close to 52 million in 1 year. Which is wild. You know what I mean? It's a huge gap for professional athletes in basketball, and I find it disgusting. Like the top player in WNBA is making 250K. That's probably like maybe a quarter, maybe a game for Steph Curry. Maybe
if that, but that's not also including the endorsements he gets.
Right.
So this is more like chump change to him.
Yeah, let me run some numbers real quick. So like, there's 82 games. So with Steph's contract here, he averages about 633,000 a game. So that's still
one game is basically like 1 year for
it's 3 times player. Yeah, it's almost 3 times more than the top player in WNBA. And now, if you look at this statistic in the middle here, this is a breakdown per position. So still, point guards are averaging about almost 12 million. Centers 9.4. So it really begs the question: what's going to happen? What is the NBA going to do? Let alone the NBA. How are they going to help the WNBA get better? So that kind of brings us to the next slide here. To me, I feel that the WNBA needs more sponsorships and endorsement deals, not only for the teams, but for the players, like you said, so it can help bridge the gap with the NBA. So now WNBA players are able to survive and live a good life because, again, these are professional athletes. They're putting their bodies on the line. It's not like they're just playing just for fun. The people are paying to see them, right? And to me, like another thing that I wish and I would like to see changed and adjusted is the WNBA season. I would like to see it shift instead of starting like in May. I would like to see it start in July or August, just so that rookies can have more time to practice with their new teams. So, with Caitlin Clark, for example, she was in the actual March Madness finals against South Carolina, and that game I believe was like mid April, I believe. And then 2 weeks later, the NBA draft occurred. She was taken, first overall, and then 2 weeks later, their season started. So that really only gave her like a week and a half to get to know the new schemes of the coach, her to get to know her players. And I'm just using Caitlin Clark as an example, but it's like this is happening, and it's just begs the question like, why are they rushing this product out? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to me, like one thing that I would like to also see is the WNBA to get a dedicated TV network like NBA TV, so fans can watch games. It'll bring more eyes to the product. They can have specials, talking about players on that station that's running 24 hours a day. Once a game ends, they can have commentators be on there, just like the NBA TV. So there's a lot of growth and a lot of opportunity for the WNBA to grow, but the NBA also needs to assist in that
Mhm.
because again, with Stephen Curry making 52 million, Durant making 47 million, Jokic, everyone making 40 plus million on this list, man, dude, like they really need to like figure this out because the women deserve to be paid equally because
Yep.
they are representing. And I'm thankful for the Las Vegas Aces to to be solid, to be back-to-back champions because they are bringing viewers to the sport. Caitlin Clark is also assisting with that. So we have so many rookies that are coming in that have like swagger that were really talented in college, and I feel like there should be more recognition.
And
So
the one that you mentioned as far as like the was a really eye opener for me was I didn't know about it. It was the time frame that rookies have to adjust to the NBA WNBA season.
right,
That would be like that doesn't give them time to get acclimated, get used to the atmosphere.
right,
And I agree with you with the dedicated network. I think that's a great way for them to get extra sponsorships and
hmm,
actually get more visuals,
right,
so to speak, like get more attention. That's a good one. Hopefully they'll
right.
work on that and make it happen.
Yeah, man. So, again, question everything is going to be covering the WNBA. We want to make sure that, everyone is able to, get the Valkyrie news, but we're also going to talk about, other news stories in the association as well. So, if you like that again, make sure you like, subscribe, share, let everyone know. Like, we're just not the average channel. So, moving on. Now we're gonna enter the NBA here. So Klay Thompson, right? Klay Thompson paid tribute to NBA legend Bill Walton, who unfortunately passed away recently. And with his Instagram post, Klay Thompson said, was legit with that. R.I.P. Mr. Walton, one of the greats of our game. Did so much for basketball in Portland. My condolences to the Walton family. Now that's dope. Good for Klay to represent and show some love because I mean, Bill Walton's son was an assistant coach, early on in in the Dub success, and he went on to, coach the Kings. Like we have some ties with the Walton family up in Dub City, So, and that kind of leads me to my next question. Will Clay stay with the Warriors or will he leave? What do you think, man?
Well, that's hard to say. It's just depending on how the Warriors approach him and
Yeah,
ask him like, hey, you know what, we love you, and you're a great part of the team.
right.
Give us an help us help you. You
Right.
know, if you approach him with respect rather than a cold, like business manner, I think there's a good chance he might stay and maybe like take a pay cut.
Yeah.
That's hard to say, but at the same time, we have to be realistic in the aspect of like, there's a good chance we could lose him also.
Right. And
So
I feel like the Warriors need to be prepared for that because there are rumors that he could potentially sign with the Lakers, with the Magic, 76ers, the Knicks. So a lot of teams are going to be looking to get like a Hall of Famer right here that could really shoot. So I guess a bonus question is, if Klay Thompson left, would that change your perception of him?
not really, because I mean,
No.
I understand that this is a business, and sometimes you got to look out for yourself. Like we were brought up with a generation where like loyalty was everything. You stay loyal to the brand, loyal to the team.
Right.
But nowadays, it's all about business. It's all about you got to take care of yourself. So I don't really blame that.
Right.
But for me, if he did have to go, here's a bonus question for you. If he were to leave the Warriors, which
Mhm.
team would you rather him go to? Me personally, I'd rather see him with the Knicks. No way with the Lakers.
Nah, not
That's
the
just
Lakers.
a stab at the heart. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
So
I see him going to the Magic because they're young and he could bring leadership. But um, at the same time, I think that if he were to leave, it would definitely change my perception of him. Not in a negative way, but kind of a way where that was the move that split the three up. The
yeah,
homegrown team, the solid three, legendary. And, one thing that fans, everyone got to remember is when Clay was injured with that awful injury, to his knee, he's just signed recently at that time like a really big contract. He was making more than Steph at that time, right? And he was injured. He was still getting paid, but now it's like he's not injured, and now the Warriors are asking like, hook us up with a team friendly now. We took care of you when you were down. Now take care of us, type of thing. So that's one thing that I think that he has to consider. And if he leaves, that's kind of like a buster move, man. You know what I mean? It's a
I hear
business,
you.
but
I hear you. I understand what you're saying, but you know what? At the end, I mean, when you think about it, the Warriors took care of all their players. They didn't
right,
really do anyone wrong in a
right,
sense where they did them dirty.
right,
So it's up to the whole team if they want to say, hey, you know what, or talk to. I know this is far fetched, but talk to staff and say, hey, staff, in order to sign Clay, can you help us out with a team friendly deal? As also, same thing with Draymond. They could do the same. They could do the same thing,
right,
to free
right,
up some cap because if they want to keep this team together and but still have a chance to make a good run, someone's got to give,
right,
right? So it's
right.
just not just Clay himself, but everyone,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, no, for sure. So
Mhm.
let's go to the next topic here. So the next one we have up is going to be potential trades. So right now we've been hearing Kyle Kuzma's name a lot, right? And in this trade, it will be Kyle Kuzma going to the Warriors, and in return, the Wizards will receive Andrew Wiggins, the 2025 first round pick, and two future second round picks. Is that something that you would do?
No, I'm not too keen on Kyle Kuzma to be honest with you, and to me that seems a lot for Kyle Kuzma. That's a easy pass for me.
Okay, I mean, for me, I look at it and it's like, hey, Wiggins hasn't been producing, man. Let's be honest, right? Let's have
Mhm.
some honest talk here. Wiggins numbers have been decreasing each year he's been with us,
Mhm.
right? And if you really think about it, his contract is averaging about like 24 million a year. So to me, in order to get rid of that contract, because now I view it as a bad contract because he
Mhm.
misses time. He's not consistent like he used to. He doesn't have that hunger. He looks lost out there. It's not a good vibe, right? That I'm getting as a fan. So I'm willing to part a first round pick and at least maybe 1 second round for Kuzma, because is averaging, I believe, about 22 points a game, right,
Mhm.
and like 7 boards. He's like 6'9", 6'10", so he could fill in, and this could be a move that the Warriors could consider if Klay Thompson leaves. You know what I mean? You know,
I mean, I get it. But I guess to me, I still think I don't. I'm not sad about the Andrew Wiggins trade. I'm more like, I know I'm sounding cheap, but I think that's too high for those two. Maybe the first round, maybe a second round, yeah, or the two future second rounds, but not the first round of the 2025. I think that's maybe a little too high for him. But at
yeah,
the same
but
time, it depends on like how we do next season.
well, we got to also consider too that Curry, Clay, and Green are getting older, so we gotta make sure that we don't trade off the youth, but we are also giving them weapons so they
Yeah.
can contend. Because if you think about it, right, the final 4 teams, right, it was in the West. It was Denver, it was Minnesota, it was OKC, it's Dallas, right?
Mhm.
That was the final 4. Out of all those teams, do you honestly think if the Warriors upgraded just a little bit and tweaked, they'll be like they could beat any of those 4 teams?
No. Uh,
Really? You're tripping, man.
No,
I
I don't.
do.
Well, it depends on who the upgrade is and who we're sacrificing, right? For, it's easy to say that,
This one.
yeah, like,
Let's say
well, I
this
mean,
one. If we
even
got
with
Kuzma,
Just Kyle Kuzma, right? To me, is not enough to help Warriors get to the next level
I think
because
so.
that's assuming we still have Clay or
Hmm.
we don't have Clay, right? If you
But
take
no,
that,
okay. For this scenario, let's say we keep Clay. The only thing that moves is Andrew Wiggins for Kuzma. The picks don't count because they're picks.
yeah,
You know. So
hmm
with that scenario, you don't think it's good enough?
maybe. I mean, it's still hard for me. It depends on how well he gels with the rest of the team because that's still it's going to be interesting, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to push us over the edge.
Well, the what I see here is Andrew Wiggins averaging about like maybe 14, 15,
Yeah.
14,
No,
15
I mean,
points
I'm
versus
not.
22, and that's a huge difference because Warriors have lost games that were really close. You know what I mean?
No, I
And
get it. I get it. I'm not saying that by us keeping Wiggins, we're still going to be contender. He definitely needs to go. That's not my thing. But my thing is, it's just like what, if we add Kyle Kuzma and get rid of Wiggins, I'm not sure that's enough for us to get past the hurdles of like
really,
the Nuggets and the Mavs,
man,
and so that's just me.
I'll stand out on a limb here, right?
Hmm.
Let's go. Let's talk about the Final Four. OKC. I think that if we were to play OKC with that lineup of Kuzma and not Wiggins, I think that we could have went maybe out of 7 games, maybe won like 2 or 3 out of it. Not probably won the series, but 2 to 3 because they're younger. I gotta equate for the
Yeah.
youth of OKC. Now with Dallas, we would have beat Dallas for sure because everyone's saying, "Oh, the best backcourt is gonna be Kyrie Irving and Luca." Nah, man, no. When you have Steph Curry on the court, you can't guard that man. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
And if we got a big and a Kyle Kuzma, we got TJD at a second year and Pods at a second year growing, we could beat Dallas, right? When it
Yeah.
comes to Minnesota, that's going to be close, but I know we could beat Minnesota because Draymond Green brings that grit. And to be honest, watching Rudy Gobert like defend, that dude's trash, man. He's on skates. He's on skates, dude. Like he might as well go figure skating because that dude was sliding around, couldn't even guard Luca, right? And then with Denver, that's the toughest one, I think, because Jokic. But people have to remember when we had that championship run and we had to play Denver, who was matching up against Joker? It was Draymond Green. And Draymond Green did his thing and defended and made Jokic kind of like lose his game a little. He still got his numbers, but he wasn't as efficient, right? So I'm just saying, dude, like we don't. All I'm saying is this: Warriors don't need to do a lot of tweaking to the roster to be back in championship contending
Oh yeah, I
pictures.
agree. I definitely agree that that's where like I said, but because the conversation was, Kyle Kuzma right now
Hmm.
would elevate us. That's the part I'm not sure because we need more than just Kyle Kuzma. We
Okay.
need a true big,
Okay.
and we need some good, like bench warmers. You know what I mean? Like good
A good
rotation,
bench.
good bench.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the thing we haven't had in a long time.
All right. So this will segue to the next one.
Hmm.
Kevin Durant.
Hmm.
Would adding Kevin Durant get us closer? Because in this trade scenario, we get Kevin Durant, Jet Howard. It's a three team deal. Phoenix will get Kuminga, Pajemski, Looney, and Caleb Houston, I believe, is from the Magic, and they get a bunch of picks. Orlando will get CP3, GP2, and a second round pick. So with that, we're losing Kuminga, Pajemski, Looney, but we get Durant. So with that, do you think that we could contend at that point, losing those three players and gaining Durant?
Yeah, I'll be honest. Yeah, I think we
It's
can do.
better. It's
It's
better.
better, but will I think it will happen? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a rumor that is going around, but I mean, the biggest thing that I don't like Kaminga and Pajemski being included. Like
Okay.
that sucks. But realistically, Looney, like I love Looney, man. That's Loon, right? But
Hmm.
his knees ain't the same, dude. And
Hmm.
like he's it's hard for him to like keep up with the fast pace.
Hmm.
He could rebound, but TJD is there. That's a feature. Same height, more mobile, could block shots. So with KD, TJD, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, and Steph Curry, that's a solid five, dude.
Yeah,
That's a
that's
solid
that
five, man.
that's a definitely solid, and that will definitely get us over the hump. But the only reason why I don't think this is feasible is because of Kevin Durant. Because I think his ego will not allow him to make this happen.
Dude, yeah, I was with you before on that, but the more and more I think about it, he wants to win at the end of the day, right? And
Yeah,
he was with OKC. He went to the playoffs, never won a chip. Came to the Warriors, won two, right? And then wanted to go, and because this is Steph's team, that's the rumor. I guess it was Steph's team, and he didn't feel like it was his team. All right, whatever. Could be wrong, but he went to the Nets, nevertheless. And he had Harden and Irving. They couldn't do anything. Gets traded to the Suns. They got Bradley
okay.
Beal and Devin Booker.
That
They
didn't
can't do
happen.
anything.
Yeah.
It's like I think he will be open to come back because he knows the system, he knows the players, he knows the coach, he knows the area, and this
Hmm.
is a chance to win it again because he
Yeah.
knows Stephen Curry is that man.
Yeah. No, I
He
mean I
knows it.
agree with you on that part, but the only reason, like I said, is because of his ego. Because why did he leave in the first place? Right? Because it wasn't his team. Now he's gonna go back because he wants to go to a team where he can be the man, right?
I don't
So
think
is he
so.
going to go back to being the second man after all that? And hear the people talk, see, you can't win without Steph, right? You mean to tell me with his ego, he's not going to say, like, damn, dude, do I really want to swallow my pride again?
I don't think so at this point of his career where he's almost like he's what 35? No, 36, I think.
Yeah. I mean,
Almost
like,
37, I think, but Curry's 35. I think at that point he's getting humbled. He realizes he wants to go out on top with Steph. What better scenario to go out on top with the vets to show the youngsters in the league, like all those upcoming teams, Minnesota, OKC, Pacers, the Knicks, all them, like let them know, like, yo, the vets still got it.
I
That's that
mean, that's going to be interesting, and we're going to have to wait and see.
right,
And, like, we'll find out who's right and who's wrong.
right. All right, moving on.
Yep.
49er news. Brandon Ayuk. He's seeking a contract like Amos St. Brown. $120 million deal. Ayuk is under his fifth-year option for this upcoming season, making $14.1 million. Right now, Debo makes $26 million this season. Can the 49ers afford to have two receivers making $26 million each? And if so, how would signing Ayuk affect signing Purdy long term next season, man? What do you think?
I mean, if it weren't about the money, I think VA. I love VA. I think he's worth the money. But for us, for as a team overall, there's no way we can afford to keep him. And at the same time, keep Purdy and all the other teams. We still have a lot of holes that hasn't
Right.
been addressed. And for one player, that's just too much for me.
Yeah, but
I mean, like I love him, and then, like he's a great player. I'm not saying he's not worth the money. I think he's worth the money.
right.
But the problem is, it's not up to us. And if money wasn't an issue, we would have already signed him.
Of course, but money is because the cap, like is there in
Yeah.
place for a reason. So there's no super teams. So in this case, like again, it begs the question, like who would you rather have, Ayuk or Debo? They're both gonna want the same amount of money, or Debo's making 26. If we give Ayuk 26, I'm sure he will take that because right now for him to say that he wants St. Brown's money, of
Mhm.
course, that's smart negotiating. You want to start high and work your way down. So he's shooting for the moon, and that's the smart way to do it. So realistically, if the Niners approach you and said, "Hey, we'll give you 26 million," he'll take it. But what do we do with Debo? And at that point, if they sign Ayuk 26 million a year, you got Debo making 26 million a year. Who would you get rid of, man?
Truth be told, I might get rid of Debo
Yeah,
just
I agree.
because of the only reason is because, don't get me wrong, Debo is another exceptional receiver.
Yeah, he's awesome.
So versatile.
Yeah,
But the one thing that hurts him in my eyes, if I had to make a business decision, is his health and like
his
being
health.
able to stay healthy.
Right.
That's the only reason that I'm willing to part. You know, so
And
it's that's why I don't think we can keep both. Uh,
I agree, man. Because I mean, I would like to keep Ayuk, right? And then with
mhm,
their rookie receiver
mhm,
Parcell, I don't know, I forget how to say his name. My bad. But one thing that they both have in common, Ayuk and the Rook, is they are exceptional route runners. That's
mhm,
something that Debo really is not known for. He's more of a brute receiver, running back receiver that will just like collide with you and get some yards, kind of like another Kittle. But
yeah,
if we have two exceptional route runners with Jawan Jennings now in the post still, like that's deadly, dude, for Purdy because now they're running routes that
mhm,
are it's precise and it's really gonna like confuse the defense. So
yeah,
I don't know, man. I'll end it with this on my part. All I want is to make sure that the Niners sign my boy Purdy to a long term deal because without Purdy, no one's getting anywhere, dude. The Ferrari has a flat tire at that point. You know what I mean?
yep.
So,
So
I don't know.
yeah, we'll see. Well, we just hope they make the right decision. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. All right. So moving on. Good news is with the Niners is the Niners will receive salary cap relief in the amount of 18 million after June 1st, and this comes to fruition because of the Eric Armstead release. So the release of Eric Armstead will become official after June 1st. So once that occurs, now the Niners will receive $18 million towards the cap. Now, this could be interesting because now with that $18 million savings, that'll push them, I believe, to about like 23. Are they able to then have the ability to trade Debo because he's going to have a dead cap hit of, I believe, like 18 million. So can this be a wash? Trade him, get something back in return, and then sign Ayuk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean it's going to be interesting, and so far John's been doing a good job. So
Right.
I trust him, but I'm already prepared in the mindset of, like we're gonna lose somebody,
Yeah.
and as long as it's not Purdy, I'm good.
Yeah. It ain't gonna be pretty, man. If that's the case, dude, I'm gonna riot, dude. I'm gonna riot because that's my
I'm,
boy, man. That's
I'm
my
gonna
boy.
drive you to I'm gonna drive you to Levi, and we're gonna have a talk with John.
All right, moving on. San Jose earthquakes. So we're gonna cover the earthquakes, because I don't believe they get enough love in the Bay Area. So we're gonna hit you with some news, and their standings. So right now, As you can see in the Western Conference of the MLS, they are 13th place with a record of 3 wins, 10 losses, and 2 ties. That's not good, man. That's like, come on, Quakes. Y'all got to do some things. And it's fun going out to the games, man. I had fun times going out to the games. But for San Jose, come on, man. Y'all gotta, like, I don't know what we need to do to improve that, but something needs to happen.
Yeah, definitely.
So next thing is Bay FC. The National Women's Soccer League. Right now, the Bay FC record is 12th place, and this is the entire league here on the screen. So there's only 14 teams, and Bay FC has a record of, it looks like, 9-11. So they're definitely able to win. They're competitive, but it looks like it's a tough league, man. Like, I mean, shoot, the top three teams looks like they're really legit with Orlando, Kansas City, and Washington, man. That looks crazy. So, we'll definitely keep you viewers in tuned with the Bay FC standings and news coming up. And the final news article today, or thing that we're going to cover, is the Oakland Roots out of the USL, United Soccer League. Um, so Oakland, they're doing pretty decent. They're ranked seventh in the Western Conference. So right now they are in playoff contention, but the season appears to just have started, and they have a record of 4 wins, 6 losses with 14 points. So, they have the ability to turn it around and jump up in these rankings, man. I mean, just one win right here could definitely elevate them to like 3 or 4. So, this is definitely something to look forward to. And it's crazy now that I'm looking at it. Number 2, Sacramento, they're undefeated, so that's pretty solid, dude. That's pretty cool. So, again, we're gonna be covering, all the sports in the Bay Area. We want to make sure everyone gets love, and we could bring more eyes and help bring more eyes to sports that you may not know about. So, we are definitely gonna bring it there. So, with that, this concludes our podcast today, episode 11. So, anything that you want to say before we check out, Hunter?
Well, we appreciate you guys watching, and if you have a team that you have in mind that's a Bay Area team that you want us to take a look at, leave a comment and like and subscribe. Thanks again.
All right, guys. Catch you on the next one. Peace.
All right, later.